I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president.
We're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the He's going to know my name personally.
I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him.
Tish getting what she dished. New York AG Letitia James indicted on mortgage fraud. After spending years weaponizing the courts against Trump and his businesses, she's suddenly crying foul about weaponization.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost.
But CNN says, what's the big deal? Everybody commits a little mortgage fraud.
What Tish James, and again, we're still getting the details, but if it's related to this mortgage issue, I mean, this is something that everyone in America, or many people at least, if you're lucky enough to be able to buy a house in America, you deal with this, right? The federal government doesn't go after all of these people for doing this.
Emily, it looks like they have her dead to rights. She filled out the form, she lied, she even reported the rental income on her taxes.
Look, I can't speak to what will happen actually in court and to the evidence. However, yes, it seems obvious. And here's what I hate the most about the commentary. The concept that either everyone does it or that it's no big deal is such an affront to the millions of Americans that get that pit in our stomach every year when we see the audit or the IRS and have to do our taxes and actually go overboard to make sure that every penny lines up. I have had friends audited for less than a few $1,000s. I've had clients that have been audited in the $30,000 range or less. And I did a snapshot of what happens in just 1 year. And in 1 year alone, for example, the U.S. Sentencing Commission has over 57,000 mortgage fraud offenses referred to them. That is that specific charge referred to them. The FBI investigating almost 4,000 in 1 year, 30% of which are under $1 million. So the concept that somehow it has to be a big deal or it has to be in the millions to have some impact doesn't hold water, because good, hardworking Americans follow the law all day, every day. And when you don't, then I guess you become a con man or a carnival barker, which is what the language that this AG used about someone else that was actually totally innocent.
Paul, whose post-indictment video was better, Comey's or Tish James's?
Yeah, they're both atrocious. And you know what? The sanctimony embedded in both of them is just so insufferable. And as Emily says, the idea that somehow or other everybody does is just not true. I've brought mortgage fraud cases. Now, you could argue the following, that as a federal case, it's a comparatively low number. But that said, you forget, she is a public servant. She's supposed to be the top law enforcement officer in all of New York State. So that said, that's the justification for doing this way federally. But let's remember something else. Donald Trump did not indict her. In one of the bluest jurisdictions in this country, a jury of her peers indicted her. And by the way, that's adjacent right there in the Washington area, where the Trump administration has lost a number of indictments. Remember the guy that threw the hero sandwich at the cup?
Yes.
They didn't get that indictment right in the same area. So it just shows you this is the process. You want to gripe about this, then take it up with the grand jury. There's a couple of overlays real quick. The leak that went to MSNBC, I think, is significant. There's leaks that came out earlier in the week saying, oh, they're not going to go with this case. They decided there's no probable cause. And it was 2 DOJ members, according to MSNBC, that did that leak significantly to MSNBC. There needs to be now a follow-on leak investigation, because that's deep state nonsense. They were trying to put their finger on the scale to say, okay, if this goes this way, we can claim, you know what, we didn't want to bring this case, and Trump forced it down our throats.
Right.
And then lastly,
happened with Comey.
Exactly. And
Literally the same thing.
Remember something, too. In this case, there is a victim. In the Trump case that she brought against Trump,
Exactly.
there was no victim. The banks were on board. He paid them back. In this case, who lost the $19,000? We did.
Yeah, we paid.
Because
We
of
did.
Fannie Mae.
What's
We federally
19,000
lost.
divided by 5? We should split it. Jillian?
Well, I was going to say, if in order for everybody to commit this kind of mortgage fraud in America, everybody has to own more than one home, which most people don't. So there's an inherent bias built in there off
She's got
the
3,
bat.
reportedly.
I mean, this, Emily, you probably can talk to this better than I can, but I was talking to a lawyer earlier who was saying this case is just going to really come down to the paperwork. The defense is going to be kind of built around her claiming, or how well she can make the case that this was like her tax attorney's machination. She didn't really have much to do with it or much input or really know about it. So in discovery, when they go through all the emails and whatever else, like, it'll all come out and this will go or not go based on what's in there.
Well, and also, I mean, no matter what, she materially benefited. And so that whole defense of like, I didn't know better or I'm so sorry, well, there are remedies that are then commensurate with that. The whole point is if you prove intentionality and you prove intent to deceive, then, well, the punishment will fit the crime. Sorry, Greg, go on.
All right, Greg, you know more about fraud than anybody because you are one.
That's right. This is Bert Hume. So, my good friend Molly Hemingway once told me, no, I love this because the Dems thought they had a solid, like, 95% gamble. You could hunt Trump down and hunt other Republicans down under the assumption that they're finished, they're done. But as they say, if you go for the king, you better make sure the job is done. Trump is now the man with no name in High Plains Drifter. They thought they had him, but now he's painting the town red. You can call it revenge, but I'll get to that. Turnabout is fair play. Remember, nothing that Trump does, whether he doesn't do this or not, is going to affect the Democrats' behavior after this. Like, you'll hear people say, like, well, if he does this, then they're going to do that. It's like, no, you were going to do that anyway, because you started this mess. This lady's career was predicated on a vow that she was going to take Trump down. Remember, she did that in a video. And the hilarity of the media and the Democrats doing this two wrongs don't make a right stuff. I'm sorry. If Jesse punches me in the face, I should be able to punch it back, even if I can't reach his face. But the thing is, it's like, you don't have that argument. You know, it's like they came after us. That was lawfare. They thought they had it. It was going to be great, but it's wrong. It didn't, and now you got to pay the price. Don't get mad at us. Don't get mad at us. This is justice. So the only solution is mutually assured destruction. If you know that I will fight back if you attack, then you won't initiate the attack. Jesse won't hit me because he knows I'll hit him back. That's why people have NRA stickers on their front porch.
That's why people have nuclear weapons.
Yeah, so right, Jillian, so right. It's why I wear tight shirts. So people see the muscles in my body. It's a non-violent signal to warn off aggressors who think they might be, you know, able to handle it, but it says, you know, you're biting off more than you can chew.
Again, People Magazine, World's Sexiest Man, right here.
Yeah.
Next year is your year.
I'm wearing a half shirt tonight.
Peace through strength.
Peace, yes.
Up next.
That's what they call it.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.